Hello everyone, welcome to For His Namesake. We're so glad that you have come to join us. I'm Martina and this is Valentine, and for those of you who are joining us coming here for the first time, we're a homeless family living in our truck. And we apologize for a little bit of a clutter behind us. Today is laundry day, so we have some clothes that can't go in the dryer. They're delicate clothes, and so you'll see those hanging in various places or laying flat to dry. Okay, today we're going to talk about things. The title is Things That We Took for Granted, and this is not a talk to complain. It may seem like we would be complaining, but we are realizing that when we were living in a house, we took a lot of things for granted. And so this is kind of a friendly, how do I say, for your information, or a friendly heads up to really take advantage, don't take anything for granted. That's what we did when we were living in a home. There were a lot of things we took for granted, and we still take things for granted now when we're homeless. We realize, oh my goodness, we have it so much better than some other homeless people out there. And so it's just kind of a heads up. None of us ever imagined in a million years that we would end up homeless. I mean, for those of you who are just starting to join us, before we were in this condition, we were living in a home that was worth $422,000. Very beautiful home, upscale, modern, gorgeous home. I mean, it was gorgeous. Oh my goodness. I mean, every beautiful design you could ever imagine, it was gorgeous. And here we are living in our truck. So, yeah, so we were just going to kind of list some different ways that we have when we'll start off with ways that we took things for granted in our home when we never thought in a million years. And I remember at night, especially during like storms and when it was really icy and bad weather, I remember looking out the window and I would say a little prayer to God, and I'd say, Lord, I pray that you take care of all those homeless people out there. I mean, it's almost like God was smiling up there thinking, you don't know what's around the bend, you know. But well, he did tell me that when we first looked at that gorgeous house, when we were first looking at it, he actually told me audibly and said, you won't be living in this house for very long. And so I kept thinking, long, what is, you know, and God's timetable is different than our timetable. So when he said not very long, I was actually counting down the months and thinking, okay, we made it 6 months, we made it 9 months, we made it, okay, how much is long for you, God? We ended up staying there, I think 2.5 years. Yeah, because we moved in there in 2022, in August 2022, and we left May 2024. So I guess that's short to God, or that's temporary to God. To me, it was very long. But anyway, so going back to...
Oh, I have one more
go
thing,
ahead.
if you don't mind.
Yes.
I would say we weren't even just taking things for granted in this last home, but I personally took things for granted in the home previous to that.
That too, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that house was graciously paid for by a relative. So, and that was when we used to live in Waco. We can say that now. We used to be kind of quiet about that. Yeah, we used to work at Baylor, and you know, so yeah, and my husband's from Baylor, not from Baylor, he's from the Waco area, so yeah.
And he had a good paying job, so
yeah.
I think we kind of took his job for granted.
That too, but then we felt like the Lord was saying, you can't live off of your family's money anymore, you need to you need to move and get away from family, because as long as you're near family, you're always going to ask them for help, and that's exactly what we did. We felt bad for it, and then they felt bad. They thought, well, we better help you. You don't have any other help, but I'm running out of money, and you know, so it was just we just needed to get away, and we did. And the house, we just know it was from the Lord, because the day that we put the house up for sale in Waco is the day that it got sold. So, I mean, talk about God's doing right there. I mean, I'm getting chills just telling you about it. That was so exciting. But yeah, and we lived in that home for 15 something years, but even then we took things for granted. And then there were times where we wished, like, I wish we had a bigger pantry. I wish we had a bigger, I wish. Well, then came the big home, and that gave us everything and then some. But, but anyway, yeah, so did you want to go ahead, speaking of pantries, did you want to talk about the pantry?
Well, I did not take the pantry in their last home for granted, because I had always not really prayed, but I had always wished for a large pantry. And so when we finally got it, I was thanking God practically every day that I opened it, like, thank you, Lord, for the pantry. I'm so grateful for this, because as you know, Lord, the last pantry wasn't even a pantry. And our 2 homes before, it was in our laundry room, very snug. You could only turn around like front to back. You could probably have 2 people in there, but definitely not 3. There's a washer there and a dryer behind you, and my dad, he had to put up shelves on each side just so we could have some place to put our food, because there was no other place.
Right.
Now, years later, when my brother started to get into a cooking phase, we did invest in a shelving compartment, but it was separate. What do you call those? It was silver,
a self-standing,
open.
Yeah, self-standing cabinet.
Something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was our second pantry. But other than that, we really didn't have a pantry. So when we finally got this new home, I was very thankful for that.
Walk-in pantry, fancy, with, I think it had 4 shelves going up all the way to the top.
So
Nice.
I recommend to you, no matter your pantry, thank God for the pantry, because it's better than no pantry, which was what our other house had, and now we don't have a pantry really.
Well, yeah, we just use a small
yeah,
container, like a storage bin, where we put our things in, and then we can't keep everything, because in this heat, nothing keeps. Even with the cover on the back now, it just gets so hot.
Yeah,
and
gets ruined.
Right. Okay, so the food pantry, even now, that's all we have now, is this tiny little container. Went from a walk-in pantry to a tiny little container. Okay. All right. Okay, what's another one? Sleep. We can, and when we're living in a home, we can take advantage of beauty sleep, many hours of sleep, wonderful sleep, sweet dreams and all. That's not so much now. Now my husband, he can sleep through everything, and he sleeps like a log every night. It's amazing. I don't know how he does it. Maybe it's a man thing. You men, you tell me if you sleep like logs, regardless of what condition you're in. I would like to know that. I would like to know if that's just my husband or if that's a man thing.
It's true. And you have your privacy when you're sleeping. Sometimes when I first go to bed in our truck, I'm always looking around first, because we sleep in a parking lot. Obviously, there's nowhere else to go to safely. We're not going to go off in the boonies and sleep. That's very dangerous, and it's still illegal. But you know, there's just managers walking around, so I'm like, I kind of like shove myself down below the window so I can't be seen, even though they know we're there. I just don't want them to see me.
And then what about your little critters that you don't like? That's the other thing in certain parking lots.
You know me, you know, it starts with the C. Crickets. I can't. They're shiny in the light, the spotlight, and they move and they fly quite high. One landed on top of the window like last week, and I was screaming and crying. That's how terrified I am of those things.
And one landed in your chair, actually. When you're watching a movie, you screamed, and then we found out it was in your
next
chair.
to me.
So they fly in through the windows, and we had a roach one time that was disgusting. That came out of nowhere. Yeah. So,
I mean, I know you can get bugs in your house too, but I would say not as bad. You know, unless you sleep with your windows open, which I never did.
Yeah. And then also with sleep is that the lack of, as far as hours is concerned, I remember sleeping in. We loved to sleep in back in the day. I mean, me and Valentine, or I know I did. I'd sleep in until 11 o'clock in the morning. I know this sounds really like a wasteful day, but that's what I would do. Go to bed late and sleep in late.
We were night owls.
Right. And then, so we had many hours of sleep, and now we only have about 4 hours of sleep, because we have to wait until after 11 o'clock at night. That's when most of the people go home that have been working during the day. They go home, and then the night shift, like the graveyard shift, they come in and they work from 12 or 11 to maybe 6 in the morning. But we are required to leave by 4 a.m. in the morning, because that's when the new shift comes in. Some of the new shift comes in, and then they start putting up all the carts. And I'm thinking, they could have done that the night before. Why are they doing this at 4 o'clock in the morning? I don't know. So we only get about four hours of sleep, give or take, per night. So then during the day, what am I doing at the library? I'm popping off to sleep. Or my husband, he likes to take us a nap in the morning sometimes. So yeah, when we lived in a home, we take things for granted, thinking, you know, I'm going to be living like this forever, and I can just sleep in and have all these hours of sleep. But then when we're homeless, we don't have that luxury anymore. Yeah. Okay, so sleep, pantry. Then we have several, I've got a list here of things that...
How about laundry? Since we were talking about the laundry.
You talk about the laundry.
Well, another thing I was very grateful for at the previous home, our nice home, it had a laundry room. So that was a big upgrade from our previous house before that had the laundry room with our makeshift shelf. And this one had, what do you call those? I can't speak today. Those poles that you can hang your clothes on. That was so handy.
Yeah, it had I don't know what you call those things.
A rack or something. Anyway, you can hang your clothes on it with the hangers. And because of the two homes before that, we did not have a laundry room, so anything that needed to be hung up that couldn't be dried, we had to hang on chairs or on some other type of furniture. Had to be creative.
Right.
And now that we're homeless, we have to be even more so creative because there's just not the space, as you can tell. I mean, there's nowhere really to hang anything.
Right.
Not really.
Over chairs, or lay it flat on another chair. Right. So yeah. So
we do try to dry as much as we can. At least I prefer having everything dried. Now some things like has lace on it, you can't put in the dryer. But thankfully these are my sister's. She has her own apartment, and we just do the laundry for her, so these won't stay here.
Yes. And then also another thing about the laundry, it's so embarrassing. And when we first started our homeless journey back in, it's been about a year now, we were kind of dumb, and we thought it'd be kind of cool, I guess. Not cool, but we weren't really thinking. And we had a tarp back in the day with ropes and everything, so it was very noticeable that we were homeless. And we were kind of dumb, and we would be right there in the middle of the parking lot on this very busy road, and we would do the sorting of our laundry. Okay, blacks goes with blacks, whites would go with whites, you know, the dirty laundry, and get it ready for the laundry. And people are watching us, and now I'm so embarrassed. I'm so humiliated. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I don't, and so when I'm in the store, I'm thinking, who has seen me? Who has seen me in that parking lot sorting the dirty clothes? That is so embarrassing. So nowadays, we got our heads on straight now. It's taken us a while, but we finally go to our storage unit, which is located just outside of town a little bit. It's still in the same town, but it looks like it's out in the boonies, sort of. And so we do our laundry out there. We sort our laundry, dirty clothes, and then also when they're clean again, then we go back there again, and now they're nice and folded, and we put them in our individual suitcases or whatever we need to do there, just to, you know, so people are not watching us. That's so, and we used to do it at a park too, and there would be a lot of people coming and going, and it was so embarrassing.
It was. And I still do get embarrassed to this day. Like, even if we go to take his shower at the Y, you know, you guys probably have a Y where you live, but you know, you still have to get your bags out from the back, and I just don't want people seeing back there, so I'm constantly saying, Daddy, Mommy, we have to quickly put the cover down.
It's like an accordion style, I don't know what you call it, a cover for the bedding of the truck. And so we couldn't. Now my husband, he's very laid back. It doesn't bother him one bit, and he's like, why are you all making a big deal? This is okay. There's nothing wrong with this. But so, and he's going to be editing this video, so I'm sure he doesn't mind me talking about him in a good way, because he's just very relaxed about it, and that's how I was a year ago. Apparently, I was relaxed, but maybe a little, I don't know. No, it doesn't say that my husband's dumb. It just means that we weren't thinking as far as that people really don't like that. They frown upon that. Yeah. So, you know, laundry is something not to take for granted when you're in a home, for sure. And putting them in duffel bags, we had to put them in duffel bags. You know, back home, you could just open up your closet, hang them up, and put them on the shelves. Here, we have, like, backpacks to put them in. My brother has a very tiny suitcase that he took with him to India, but it's still quite small, so I'm having to stuff everything in there. You really have to be creative to stuff your clothes. Yeah. And then, of course, showers. You can forget about bath time. For anybody who takes a bath, I never took a bath because that to me was, that's just me. I don't like that pruny feel when you get out of the bathtub, and I don't know. I just didn't like bath times. But so if you are one that likes to take your bath and have your candles, my mom would do that, the candles and the bubble bath, and relax, and have a glass of wine. That's what she would do. And I'm thinking she wouldn't do very well being in the situation that we're in right now, because you can forget bath time. There is no such thing as a public bathtub, unless
that'd
you're
be really awkward.
I've never heard of that, really, actually, unless you're at some special spa place. But even then, I don't know if they allow that. But anyway, but showers, same thing.
And the Y that we go to, there's only 3. There's one where you can go in for like if you have a wheelchair or some disability, they have it where it's accessible to you, but anyone can walk in. And then there's regular 2, and one of them is constantly kind of flooding with water. And then they have these, I cannot speak
shower
today.
Curtains. Shower
Thank
curtains.
you. Shower curtains, which you wonder if they're really clean. It's just filthy, and it's a good thing that I take off my glasses when I get in there, because I would probably be thrown up if I were to see what's on the floor. I have seen disgusting things in there with the glasses on, like, why do people leave their ponytails in here, and
other things.
It
looks like some people, how some people don't like toothpaste in the sink. I know that somebody brushes their teeth in there every time because there's toothpaste in the corners of the shower. So of course we go in there with flip-flops, so don't worry, we're not. Some people, there's quite a few actually that stand in those showers barefoot. Oh my goodness, if you're ever going to end up in our situation, please do yourself a favor and don't go in there barefoot, because that's how you get athlete's foot and who knows what else. Crabs, I don't know. I got crabs one time when I was in Sri Lanka, just from taking a shower in a bathtub. They came on my feet. So they don't have to just go down there in the private parts, they can go on any part of your body. So please. Anyway, so yeah, but no privacy really. You can forget about singing in the shower. We have a certain family member that likes to sing in the shower and take your time. You can't do that, because on certain times it's really busy, and people coming back from their exercise classes, they want to take their showers, or from the swimming pool. They have an indoor swimming pool, and once it's such a warm pool, and then you step out, it's freezing cold, and those ladies are like, oh, are you going to be in that shower for a long time? Because I really need to get in there real quick just to warm up. So, a lot of times we just say, okay, yeah, sure, go ahead and get in the shower, and then we kind of wait around for them to get done. But it can get pretty hectic during certain times. Yeah. So really no private. And then the other thing is that a lot of ladies, it took us getting some used to. I'm partially from Germany, or German background, so I'm sort of used to women kind of being more not so discreet in a locker room, but it takes getting used to. That was the thing about, as a homeless person, we're having to share a locker room with a bunch of women getting dressed, and some of them are just not shy, and so anyway, I'm not going to say the word out loud. I'm sure you can catch my drift.
I don't know if YouTube will mark us, but my dad and brother say it's the same thing in the men's locker. So there's no modesty. There's no modesty. There isn't any in this town anyway, but it's even worse in the locker rooms. Yeah, and no privacy, no being able to enjoy your shower, because you're always having to hurry for someone else, and you don't want to use up all the hot water. You want to save it for someone else. So it's in your home. We would take things like that for granted. We thought, wow, we got a nice water heater. This, we can stay in the shower for 10 minutes. So. And you think I would have kind of already had that mindset, because I was in Indonesia, and the water was quite cold because it came from a barrel, and only a certain amount you could use, so you couldn't have gallons pouring on you while you wash. You had to turn off, wash yourself, turn on again, rinse, turn off, very quick motion, and then your shower's done. Poof. Right. So you would think I would have already gotten kind of used to that, but at least I didn't have to deal with the filth there. It's filthy here.
Yeah. So what's another?
Oh wait.
Go ahead. Okay.
Another one. Sorry for the quick edit. I don't know if my dad's gonna fix it or not. I think there's something wrong with my brain, or maybe I'm just not getting enough sleep. I saw the timer on my thing say 19 minutes, but I forgot that the memory card can go on for 29 minutes. So I apologize for that. I think I'm feeling my age now.
It's okay. Let's see, what's another thing that we took for granted? When you're sick, do you want to talk about that, or you want me to go into that?
Well, thankfully, I haven't had to deal with the flu or throwing up, but my sister had to deal with that when she was still living with us homeless, and so that must have been embarrassing for her.
And then I had an episode of not feeling well as well. I won't go into details, but you know, the kind where you have to run to the bathroom quite often. And anyway, and every morning when we wake up, the first place we go to is to a gas station, because at 4 o'clock in the morning, there's really nothing else that's open. We can't go to a grocery store. They may be open for people working there, but they're not open for customers. So we always go to a gas station to go to the bathroom, because usually we have to go. But that particular for 2 days, I was not feeling well, and I needed to go to the bathroom. And that's usually about the time that the employees are cleaning the bathrooms at 4 o'clock in the morning, at least at this one particular gas station. And this particular man that works there, and he's still there, I don't mean to talk bad about him, but he was just really mean. And I said, I have to go to the bathroom. I'm not feeling well. I really need to go. I mean, it's coming out. I got to go. And he said, I'm going to keep cleaning here. You're just going to have to wait. And then I said, well, then I'm going to go over to the men's room if you don't mind, because I have to go really bad. It's either that or it's going to start to go everywhere. And he just said, no, you can't go into the men's room. And I thought, oh my goodness. So those are the things that we take for granted when we're at home, when we have a home, because we can go anytime in the middle of the night for as many times as we want to. We can stay in the bathroom as long as we want to. For the most part, if you have 2 bathrooms in your home, then you know you're doing pretty good. You don't have to wait about somebody else knocking on the door and saying hurry up. So that's one thing I took for granted, is bathroom time use, because now it's very difficult. Really it is. And then, you know, they're not always in the cleanest situations, and you know, we have to brush our teeth in there and wash our face in there, and it's just not very clean.
Yeah.
So that and then when you're sick, that makes it harder, I think, too. So being ill, thank God we didn't have anything major other than my younger daughter was sick, and then I was sick, but other than that, we've just had some colds, and then, you know, my swelling of my legs and that kind of thing, but nothing where I had to worry about, oh no, someone's watching me and I'm throwing up, or someone's watching me and I'm, you know, not the other end of it, not feeling well. So that's another thing it's easy to take advantage of. Okay, what's another one we didn't mention? How about this one? You want to mention that one? Right.
Yeah, kind of like with the illness, no privacy. There is no alone time here. Now you could get a library room for 2 hours. I just don't like to use their room so often unless I have to, because it's very stuffy in there. And they do have these fans, but they don't clean the fans. They're quite dusty, or they're loud. And so it's a nuisance just to turn on, but you kind of have to just to have some sort of ventilation in there. And then the rooms themselves are at least this library is, this town is very filthy. They don't vacuum in there, they don't dust in there. There's all kinds of, it's just dirty floors and dirty sills, and even then you don't really get your privacy, because then you have the windows and the person right next to you who may be talking in that room. So, and I don't mean to complain, I'm just saying that unless you want to go to the library, maybe you can. I'm just not that kind of person.
Right. And then my son, or her brother, he will just take walks, especially when there's an event going on at the library. He can't handle all those crowds of people, and then he'll say, I've got to get out of here. And so he goes for a walk, because they've got a nice park around the library. But you know, it's really hot here in Texas right now, and so I always tell him, don't stay too long, and bring some water. And you know, I still worry about him. I mean, he's almost 20, and I'm just worried about him. But that's what mothers do. We worry about
no matter the age.
Our kids, right? So yeah, alone time is hard. It really is.
And the spring and fall, I will sometimes sit out in the park when it's cooler temperatures. But like I said, the city's not always the safest. You always have to keep your surroundings. So even if I want alone time, your eyes always have to be on the move. So it's not really even alone time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Not to interrupt you.
Oh, that's okay, yeah. So, like I said, we're not complaining. We're just realizing that we had it made in the shade. You've heard that term before, when we were living in a home. Things that we took for granted. And like I said, we never thought in a million years that we would be homeless. So just be thankful. We all need to be thankful for the circumstances that we're in, you know, at the time. If you're living in a home right now in the comforts of your home, be thankful for that. Be thankful for even the tiniest of things. I mean, just, you know, a bathroom. Who would have thought about that? Of, you know, being thankful that you have a bathroom to go to in the privacy of your own home.
You get to clean it.
Right. Exactly. And then, you know, as homeless people, we are actually thankful for the fact that we even have a roof over our heads right now. There are quite a few homeless men here who don't have that luxury. They sleep on the grass. They sleep on the concrete. When it's cold, they'll find a little alleyway and try to get in between like a, what do you call it, those where the air conditioning is, and kind of hide behind the air conditioning outside of the building to get out of the wind. And goodness, I mean, they have it really bad. So I don't want to take for granted for what we have right now. I'm very thankful for the truck that we have, and that even though it's had a few problems here and yonder, but overall it's doing pretty good, and I'm very thankful for that. That we have an actual roof over our head. These people don't. These other people, they don't have a roof over their head. Or one lady I met, she sleeps at the lake in a tent next to the lake.
And she said that it's not safe there either.
Right. A lot of drug dealing and drug people there. And
that's why we didn't want to.
Right. Exactly.
There. It's very unsafe.
Oof. I wouldn't be able to sleep there. And that's why she has a dog. She says the dog protects her. So it's a cute little dog. I don't see how I could protect her, but it's a cute little dog. But anyway, a dog is a dog. I think any dog, even a little chihuahua, will fight for its life to protect its owner. So, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, I think we pretty much covered all the different ways that, you know, we can take things for granted. There was one more thing I had on here, backpacks. We used to have backpacks just for the purpose of traveling. We used to do a lot of state-to-state traveling, and each one of us had our own backpack to put just the necessities in. You know, a bottle of water, maybe a little snack to eat, a first aid kit, maybe something else just that we thought we needed. And it was very lightweight, and we just carried on our backs as we went climbing in the mountains somewhere or whatever we were doing. And I was about to donate them to Goodwill. I thought, well, we don't need these anymore. I am so glad I hung on to them, because right now we use them to put all our clean, folded clothes in for laundry. So that's another thing. Don't take for granted. Don't automatically throw anything away or donate it away, because you never know when you need it. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. So we've been learning a lot. This is our second summer being homeless, for those of you who are new to our channel. We don't know what God has planned for us. We really don't know. We know that if and when and should we get a home, like Valentine was mentioning yesterday, it would have to be a gift. It would have to be a gift from someone that was really rich and had an extra home, maybe a mother-in-law suite or something like that. Who knows? I can't imagine money coming from out of nowhere.
And I know we're probably going to get some comments saying, you guys can work for it. Folks,
you can go check out that video.
Folks, the housing market, that would take us years, even to get a mobile home. Years to raise that kind of money. So you'd be homeless for years anyway.
And apartment living here is outrageous. It's crazy. Oh my goodness. It's a crime what they charge, actually. I don't see how people, it's amazing. No wonder. And it seems like homelessness is becoming more and more, how do I say, it's on the rise. We can see that for sure everywhere, not just here where we live, but everywhere across the nation. It's on the rise, because prices since COVID especially have gone up. I mean, too much, we think.
Everything's going up, and I just read on the news that our city is proposing to raise the taxes even more so, to such a degree that I'm like, no one could be able to pay that.
Right.
I just don't see how. Unless you're working all day long, you don't see your family. So that is one thing I'm glad about, that I'm not working just yet. I might have to eventually. It's up to God, but I am glad for family time. So don't take family if you have family. And I know we have a lot of singles, so I can't really say anything there. I would say if you're lonely, then don't take your friends for granted.
Right.
Because they could be your family to you.
Or if you keep animals, we have some people who keep animals just as a pet. Be thankful for the animal, the furry friend you have. I guess is the word I'm looking for. You know, they give us some comfort. If you don't have family, you don't have friends, you don't have anybody, I would highly recommend, in fact, to get yourself a pet of some sort. You know, cats are easier to take care of, but they also jump on counters and stuff, so if you don't mind that, that's fine. But dogs are more trainable, but then they also, I would think that dogs have a whole lot more needs than cats do. Cats are very independent. They can take care of themselves for the most part.
Don't recommend a fish. Because all the fish I got, they died.
Right.
All their bellies went up.
Yeah. And then you got to clean out the fish bowl. And
I had my dad.
I remember those days. We had to do that for you, my dear.
Because I wanted a pet, so I got a fish, but not again. I'm not getting a fish.
And little frogs, but they died very quickly too.
And they can't really socialize with you.
Right, exactly. It's kind of hard. Get a dog or get a cat, but only if you can afford it. Because I've worked in a what do you call it, humane society, and there's a lot of puppies and kittens that have to be put to sleep every day because there is no room. They're overfilled, and there's no room, and nobody wants those kittens and not as many. You know, there's too many coming in. So be responsible. That's all I can say. Don't get a pet unless you can truly afford it, and if you're willing to take care of it and spend time with it. So that's all we say on pets for sure.
And I have one more remark to make that actually came to my mind before we started. It's not a thing, but rather someone. Don't take God for granted. Yeah. Because as Christians, as believers, we're so used to, like, oh yeah, I can talk to God whenever I want to, and I'll talk to him later. No, talk to him now. Don't take your prayer for granted. Don't take your relationship with God for granted, because when the hard times come, who else can you go to? You know?
Right.
And you don't want to just go to him when hard times come, but when the good times are with you too.
Yes, exactly.
You don't want to forget them.
I think you had some scripture to share too.
Yes. From 2 Thessalonians 5:18, in everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. So it's God's will for us to be thankful in everything.
Right.
And that is still something that I am still learning. You'd think I would know it by now. But I guess it's kind of like what Paul said in, I think, 2 Corinthians, where he said, I have learned to be content. He had to learn this kind of stuff. And that's something that I'm still getting used to.
Yeah, but you're overall faithful. She's always smiling.
I try.
Has joy in her heart.
Well, you're seeing the good side right now.
Well, anyway, but she doesn't give herself enough credit. But yeah, that would be the Lord working in us. We don't get to give ourselves credit for anything. That's God working in us. I think we read that today somewhere. God's working in us. Yeah, for what He has planned. To that extent. I don't know. I think it's in Romans. That's a study my husband did. Yeah. So be sure to check out my husband's Bible studies on Sunday mornings. We need to make more announcements about things like that.
There's a lot of things I still need to make announcements for.
He does Sunday morning Bible studies, and that's a lot of work for him to plan during the week. He plans for that and reads and prays over it, and then he has to make sure that it sounds okay on the camera and make sure he gets a room at the library. These days, the rooms in the library, they go quick, and it's first come, first basis kind of thing. You don't get to reserve it ahead of time. So, so be sure to check those out. And what else do we need to mention?
And again, don't forget the God in Our Story series. Anyone can submit one. We have the criteria. We can probably even put it in this video just so you remember about the series. Yeah, it's been fun reading.
Valentine, she has a knack for reading stories. Wow, she is great. I did not know that. A hidden gift.
I love to read.
Yeah, so be sure to send. We've already had viewers send a story in.
Thank you again.
Be sure to get those stories coming, and it doesn't matter. I mean, of course, it doesn't matter if it's a short story or a longer story. That's fine. I'm sure it'll be fine.
And again, if you feel led to, we have a link down below in the description box where you can join our membership program. We're just doing tier 1 for now. Sorry if tier 2 is still up there. We're just doing tier 1 for now. Fishers of Men, that's for men and women.
Right.
And that's just a way to support the channel, support the ministry, support our family, because we are not working right now.
And it's only 99 cents a month. That's
yeah. I mean, for your taxes, it might be $1 or something, but no more than that.
Right. Yeah. Okie dokie.
I think that's all the announcements.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we hope that you have enjoyed this discussion on why we shouldn't take things for granted, or take life for granted, or take God for granted. Just don't take anything for granted. Be thankful, as we read in scripture today. Be thankful for everything that we have, even if it's something really, really small. It can be anything. Just be thankful for it. Because, and that's for us too. We need to be thankful for what we have now. Who knows what's around the corner? So, okay. Well,
we hope that you like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. And Lord willing, we will see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye-bye.